Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Everyone please sing loudly Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare अभी गाओ Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe. Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada धर्म शरणाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की और प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाध्याय श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुदप सिद्धांत द्वंद्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमे स्वं निर्देष्ट सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरात्मषि नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतार भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पंगोर्मम मन्दामतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यदृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमाधः श्रीमद्रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshthalipi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatattatastitav Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinatha Shriyestuna Taptakanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. इसकी जय wrong. Have to spotlight this. It's gone somewhere else. You can bring it here. No, वो दिखता है क्या? तो यहाँ ले आओ क्योंकि वो वैसे भी कुछ दिखता नहीं है वहाँ. हरे कृष्णा. So we are here to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, and yesterday was Bhadra Purnima. It was the day when Shukadev Goswami completed speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. Shukadev Goswami started speaking Bhagavatam on Radha Ashtami day, and he concluded on Bhadra Purnima. If you see, it is 7 days, Radha Ashtami to Bhadra Purnima. And the solution, as we are discussing even in this chapter, the solution to Maharaj Parikshit's problem, which was a problem that neither Maharaj Parikshit wanted to take away, neither Maharaj Parikshit deserved, and neither Krishna wanted to take away. So you can, it's also looking odd. Why don't you bring it here? Come here. Some water. Some water. You have to make a checklist. Daily checklist. So now someone may think that if Maharaj Parikshit didn't deserve it, then why did Krishna not want to take it away? And as we had discussed, that the one of the first lessons that we learn from this, we learn many lessons actually from this chapter, but one of the first lessons that we learn from this chapter is that it was the will of the Lord that this thing happened, right? It was, if, like you would think, if I don't deserve it, now of course we don't know what we deserve and what we don't deserve. Whatever we think, I didn't deserve this, we are thinking from which point of view? Our point of view of? Our point of view of our desires, our mentality, our point of view of karma, of this life, our point of view of this life, right? In this life, I may not have done something bad to somebody, but I am getting it back. In this life, I may not have abused my body, but I've got some, irrecoverable disease. In this life, I have not caused any mental trouble to somebody, but I am having so much anxiety in my life, I'm not able to sleep. It's all in this life, I think I don't deserve it. But Krishna is sanctioning karma not just of this life. So he knows the broader picture. In Maharaj Parikshit's broader picture also, he didn't deserve this. None of us can say that. Anyone here knows your entire gambit of karma? We wouldn't have been able to look at ourselves in the mirror also अगर ऐसा पता चलता क्या क्या हमने किया है क्या क्या कर चुके हैं. But so it was the will of the Lord. So the solution to Maharaj Parikshit's problem was not freedom from the problem, because Maharaj Parikshit also didn't want it. He was also ready for it. The solution was Srimad Bhagavatam. That was the solution to his problem. And so Maharaj Parikshit accepted it, that this is Krishna's desire. It's Krishna's will. And therefore now I have to see what else Krishna wants me to do. And at that time, a genuine devotee will think that if this has happened in my life, definitely Krishna is giving me my karma, but sorry, uh, I can still make the best of this situation for my spiritual life. Because a devotee is genuinely interested in only one thing, in his or her progress in spiritual life, in Krishna consciousness. Everything else a devotee knows will come and go, and you can't really hold on to anything. Just like waves. Waves will come, waves will go. No one can say कि इतना पानी यहीं पे रहेगा. Ocean will take it back, bring it forward. So, uh, Maharaj Parikshit is thinking, okay, in this now, what can I do? I accepted the situation. For us, even that itself is a very big thing. Are you following? Everyone is having blank faces. Accepting a situation which we think that we don't deserve, but clearly Krishna has sanctioned and Krishna has approved it, uh, is difficult to digest if we are contemplating. Most of us are stuck in that. Why? We are stuck in the situation of, I want a solution from Krishna based on what I feel is the right solution because I feel this is a problem. I feel this is a problem and I know the solution. And now Krishna, please give it to me. ये जो solution मुझे चाहिए उसी तरह से मुझे दो. So then it's a question of, then where is the whole thing of accepting Krishna's will and हम बोलते हैं ना surrender वो uh, one of the six constituents of surrender is goptritve varanam tatha, knowing that, for having full faith that Krishna is going to take care of me. So then accepting. So Krishna wanted through Maharaj Parikshit the Srimad Bhagavatam to come. And in that, Krishna is showing us that the when there is no other solution, the solution is Srimad Bhagavatam. When there's no other solution, materially we have exhausted all other solutions, whether it be a material problem or even some difficulty in my spiritual life, some ups and downs in my enthusiasm or motivation. The solution is Srimad Bhagavatam. Because whatever is there in our scriptures, it's not just there like that. No, there is a purpose behind all these things. So for this, Krishna could have given Maharaj Parikshit anything. He could have just, arranged Gita to be spoken again. He could have arranged, something else. He could have taken away the issue. But he decided that ये जो है, ये 12 cantos में ये जो है, this is the solution to a problem where there is no other solution. Like a doctor says, sorry, nothing can be done now. Then you take hospice care or you just keep someone comfortable, this, that. This is like for your ultimate problems of life, there's no material solution. What are our ultimate problems of life? What is the definition of a problem? Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. A problem is something that nobody wants, nobody can avoid, and everybody has. That's a problem. Because otherwise, it may be a problem for someone and the same situation may not be a problem for somebody else. So that is only four things. What? Birth, death, old age, disease. Now, if we consider these to be the main problems of life, there is no material solution to this. Now, even if you consider other problems, anxiety, I'm going through a difficult situation in my life, I'm going through a difficult situation for everyone can be different things. At that time also, if we can take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's what Krishna is trying to show through Maharaj Parikshit. There is this, one devotee, he got very inspired and he decided, I will join the temple, I will become a brahmachari. He had just graduated, he thought, I want to give this a shot. So this is in London, And so he mustered up the courage to tell his parents that, see, thank you very much for raising me, and I love you a lot, but I really want to try this. I want to dedicate my life to monkhood. I want to become a brahmachari. I want to try and serve. And nahi hua to, I'll come back. And now nobody here has that experience. But when that's not a very easy thing. You can try and imagine telling your parents that, okay, Hare Krishna, take care. I'm going to become a lifelong monk. So he finally got the courage, sab kuch ho gaya, finished, went. And he was saying, I was feeling miserable. There were thousand doubts in my mind. Maybe I can become a devotee even at home. क्या है maximum क्या होगा? I won't be able to do Krishna conscious 24/7, but I'll do something. Why trouble my parents? This, that. But somehow he had the courage. He walked out of the house, and he got into his car and he was driving to the temple, joining. And throughout the ride, he was just thinking of this. My God, what's happening? What's happening? Is this the right decision? Should I take a U-turn? What have I done to my parents? This, that. And he was just having all these doubts. And then, हाईवे पे लोग लिफ्ट मांगते हैं. वो खाली इंडिया में नहीं होता है, सब जगह होता है. इनफैक्ट बाहर ज्यादा होता है. And he said, I have never ever stopped and given a lift to anybody. Obvious reasons, you may not know who you're taking. He thought that day I was so miserable, and I thought, इससे ज्यादा और क्या खराब हो सकता है? Nothing worse than this. क्या करेगा? मेरा पॉकेट चोरी करेगा. What else is going? Injure करेगा मुझे. He'll take away my car. What's worse than what I'm feeling right now? And so he stopped. That fellow got in. He said, I want to go to London. He said, yeah, I'm going to London only. I'm going to join the London temple. Yeah. 2 minutes into the journey, this man noticed a book on his dashboard of the car. What is this? So this fellow had not even noticed कि वहाँ पे, first canto Bhagavatam रखा था. And he said, oh, this is the Bhagavatam. And so this man started asking him, what is it about? And this devotee started telling him. And he started telling him more and started explaining. He said, at the end, by the time London came, 1.5 घंटा हो गया. 1.5 घंटा I was just talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, and by the end, all my worries and anxiety and this horrible feeling which I had, it all just evaporated. I dropped him and I straight went to the temple and I joined. So these are modern day examples. Even if you are not going to be bitten by a snake, Bhagavatam is still there to help you with other difficulties. So this is why Srimad Bhagavatam is considered Amal Puran, and therefore it is said that every respectable person in their house, there should be all these books: Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now you think if you are a respectable person or not, and if you have it, very good. If you don't have it, arrange it and read it every day. And then we'll come to all these conclusions, like Maharaj Parikshit. He accepted his problem. He last, I don't know how many weeks back that was, but the last discussion we had on this chapter was the immaturity of Shringi. Remember, we were discussing immaturity in the life of a devotee. Anyone remembers anything? I also didn't remember. So I went through that message we had posted on the WhatsApp group. Do you remember seeing a message on the WhatsApp group? Kalyuga. So these are the points that we had discussed in terms of immaturities in the life of a devotee. Because Shringi acted in an immature way by cursing Maharaj Parikshit. So we discussed that getting offended by little things. Remember? Getting offended by little things. Getting offended by a devotee for small things. They didn't smile at you today. They didn't offer you the seat before them. They didn't serve you prasad first. Or they didn't ask you, you weren't the first one to know about the upcoming yatra. Or things like that. Getting offended with little things. Then we discussed arguing with senior devotees. We have a question, but we tend to argue. नहीं प्रभु जी पर ऐसा आप समझ रहे नहीं है प्रभु जी ऐसा ऐसा to argue. Then not taking our sadhana seriously. Immaturity in the life of a devotee, not taking sadhana seriously. Now the question could be asked, what is the definition of serious sadhana? And that could vary. But in a nutshell, getting up early, chanting good quality rounds in the morning, and reading Prabhupada's books every day, this is considered serious sadhana, not taking it seriously. Then we discussed thinking that we are entitled to facilities and attention. साल से मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं सेवा कर रहा हूँ, कभी कभी तो अनाउंस करना चाहिए, कभी कभी तो कुछ फैसिलिटी देना चाहिए, कभी कभी तो कुछ मिलना चाहिए मुझे उसके रिलेशन में. बाहर करता मैं कंपनी में, आई एम वर्किंग इन माय जॉब, आई एम वर्किंग, आई एम डूइंग दिस, आई गेट रिकॉग्निशन, आई गेट प्रमोशन. यहाँ पे तो अगेन सर्वेंट सर्वेंट सर्वेंट, बकेट उठाओ, लेके जाओ, ये करो, वो करो, प्रसाद बांटो. अभी तक स्टार्टिंग में ठीक था, अभी तक. बट व्हाट्स द गोल ऑफ लाइफ? टू कम इनटू द मूड ऑफ बीइंग अ सर्वेंट ऑफ कृष्णा. हाउ वी गोना डू इट? By becoming the servant of the devotees. So we're going to be servant of devotees. Where is the question of wanting recognition, wanting praise? Does the servant expect that? यार बहुत अच्छा झाड़ू मारा आज. Oh. Then being impatient for Krishna's reciprocation. Wanting it. अरे कितने टाइम से मैं प्रे कर रहा हूँ, 16 माला इतने टाइम से हो रहा है, 2 साल से, अभी तक भगवान नहीं कर रहे हैं. Being impatient for Krishna's reciprocation. Judging devotees by external appearances. मेरा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस इससे अच्छा है, मेरा I wear better clothes than this devotee. To judge a devotee, first of all, we should not judge a devotee, but you can come to know a devotee by what they speak, how they behave, how they conduct themselves, achar, vichar, prachar, not by how much money they have, how good they look, what clothes they wear, what family they are from, which part of Mumbai they stay. A person in Balkeshwar could be taking guidance from, someone living in a chawl, and that's fine, because spiritual life is not advancement in spiritual life is not external. So judging devotees by external appearance, not having faith in the words of the shastras, in the words of the devotees. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? Scriptures glorify, especially if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. At the end of most of the pastime chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's written, anyone who hears or reads this chapter will achieve love of God. मैं तो पढ़ लिया, चौथी बार पढ़ रहा हूँ, कहाँ है love of God? ऐसे ही बोल दिया है. Just क्या बोलते हैं उसको? What is it called? Over exaggeration. Exaggerating. People used to think that when Mahaprabhu said, Prithivite Ache Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoive Mora Nam, in every town and village of this planet, my name will be glorified. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. And till the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, people used to think, पूरा वर्ल्ड मतलब भारत, क्योंकि भारत ही पूरा वर्ल्ड, अभी भारत इतना हो गया तो मतलब भारत. बट महाप्रभु सेड होल वर्ल्ड. कहाँ से होगा होल वर्ल्ड? कौन विदेशियों को चैंट करवाएगा? What did Prabhupada do? Spread it everywhere. Is it still in every town and village? No. Is it in every town and village in India also? No. Is it going to be? Yes. So having that faith, that when the scriptures say something, when the guru says something, it is not exaggeration. It will happen. It's not working. It was not working. Then one more immaturity in the life of a devotee is not contemplating what we hear. Remember? We discussed Mananam. Like we will hear this class. Some of us are not even hearing this class, although we are physically here. But those of you who are physically and mentally here, will hear this class. And then we'll think, oh, this is good. This is, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. I'll remember this. It happens with me a lot. I'm listening to something, Arey, yaar, I won't forget this. It is so practically applicable in my life. But what will happen? I'll do something else, something else, something else, and I'll completely forget what I heard or what I read. So that's why it's good to make notes, to have a pen and to have a paper, or to note things on your mobile phone, things that you heard or read that make a lot of sense. Then we jot them down, and not just jot. Devotees do that also. Notebook लेके आएंगे लिखेंगे. The next week वापस खोलेंगे लिखेंगे. Not just that, but going through it. Like today, I had a wonderful conversation with an amazing devotee for over a hour and a half. And I was discussing things with him, and he was sharing such amazing insights. I was feeling so inspired. I came out and then immediately had to do something else. But it was there. I will forget. My mind is such a rascal. I will forget. I have to note down. I have to note down. So even if you have that in a likhna hai, it will still be there. And after 2 hours, I came back and cut. I filled a whole page with whatever we discussed. So it's immature to just hear. Shravanam. कहाँ जा रहा है वो सब श्रवणम? पढ़ो. Where is it going? If Shravanam is going here and it's gone, if reading is going and it's out of the mind, it's better than not doing it. But we should not feel that एक दिन तो कहीं ना कहीं से वो रीअपियर हो जाएगा, या इतना घुसाऊंगा कि एक दिन तो वो निकलना बंद हो जाएगा, बाहर रहेगा अंदर. इतना सुनूंगा, इतना पढ़ूंगा कि वो रह जाएगा. But the key is not just quantity, it is also thinking about it. Thinking about it again and again and again. And then we'll start to see that, yeah, okay, this was for me. This message Prabhupada spoke was for me. This what Prabhupada wrote is for me, and it's so practically applicable in my life. I guarantee you, you just take one purport of Prabhupada, and you can just take one line. Like today, uh, 1 hour back, when I opened the Bhagavatam to read these verses of today, just first line that Prabhupada wrote, bas ho gaya. Your whole class is based on this one line. This whatever is this section, it's all based. And you read more and you read more, and you can just get such wonderful things which are practically applicable in our life. That how this can help my spiritual life, how this can help me tolerate my material problem. So, not contemplating on what we read or hear. And that last one we discussed was thinking that all the devotees, the temple, the scriptures, and we ourselves will remain forever, and hence postponing our seriousness towards spiritual life. कहाँ जाने वाला है गधा हॉल, कहाँ जाने वाले ये सब भक्त, कहाँ जाने वाले हैं बुक्स, कहाँ जाने वाले हैं लेक्चर, सब पढ़े हैं अभी तो यूट्यूब पे ये भी पढ़ा रहता है, देख लेंगे बाद में, सुन लेंगे वापस, बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे जो मुझे अभी डिस्कस करना चाहिए भक्त, I'll discuss it later. Thinking I am also going to be there, I means all of us are thinking we are going to be there forever. That's also immature. So we had posted this. If you wish to know the more about this, you can watch that on YouTube. The last lesson we can get from this chapter, one lesson we got is how Maharaj Parikshit accepted the situation. One lesson we got is how the will of the Lord will always work, and a devotee has to accept it. That's the only option. One lesson we got is how immaturity in the life of a devotee can cause trouble. And now one example is of immaturity of the son, and the other example is of the maturity of the father. Who is Shringi's father? Shamik Rishi. So while the son showed immaturity and that created a problem, how in that problem which you didn't create, if you have spiritual maturity, how you can still be fine. So the last lesson we get from this chapter, at least that I got from this chapter, is the reaction, the mature reaction of Shamik Rishi, and how we can get so many lessons from Shamik Rishi's reaction. So before we get into the lessons of Shamik Rishi's reaction, let's read how he reacted. Someone can read loudly? Yeah, this you can read that also. Verse number 41. So Shamik Rishi is here. As soon as Shringi told him what happened, what is he feeling here? He is thinking that, oh my god, problem happened to me, right? But the 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 reaction which he is given is disproportionate to the problem. He has not acted maturely. He's given a disproportionate reaction. Someone else can read? So Maharaj, Shamik Rishi he has very easily overlooked the mistake which Maharaj Parikshit made, thinking about all his good qualities. He's thinking good qualities of Maharaj Parikshit, one mess that he made, or one problem, one thing in which he slipped up. And although that slip up was a direct insult to Shamik Rishi, he's thinking, no, 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 this is far greater than this. So when we see, especially uh, within devotees also, when we can overlook certain faults, then we can easily forgive and forget a situation. When we take ourselves too seriously, that's when we think, no, no, this is not forgivable. मेरे साथ ऐसे कैसे किया उसने? That's not good. Same thing with someone else. We think, अरे छोटी सी बात है. Why are you so hell bent upon it? But when it comes to us, what do we think? This is after this is too much. But if we think that, and this I'm specifically talking about with devotees, sometimes things happen. At that time, if we think that uh, he's thinking, he's not just a king, he's a great devotee. He's a wonderful devotee. And because he's a wonderful devotee, what he has done is nothing compared to what amazing qualities he has. And because of those amazing qualities of his, people like us are present. That's what Shamik Rishi is thinking. So you think about how many devotees are there on this planet. Now, compared to that, shouldn't I be really having genuine, nice relationships with devotees rather than just being hell bent upon uh, holding grudges? He could have very easily held a grudge. अरे ऐसे कैसे मैं मेडिटेट कर रहा था मेरे गले में सांप लगा दिया. What are you thinking? छोटी सी मेरे मेरे लिए है ना, no problem. Like Prabhupada writes in this Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, verse 37, that Kamesha Krodesha verse. Kamesha Krodesha Rajaguna Samudbhava Mahasana Mahapapma Vidyena Miya Verinam. In that, Prabhupada says, anger can be used in Krishna's service. When we see a devotee being blasphemed or the Lord being blasphemed, at that time, like Hanumanji, anger can be used. But for ourselves, when we are troubled or when we are blasphemed, at that time a devotee thinks, who am I anyway? Kya farak padta hai? At least he's a devotee. Like Raghunath Bhatta Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is mentioned. Whenever Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is one of the 6 Goswamis. Who are the others? Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jeev Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was uh, he had this quality that he could never ever hear anything bad or ill about a devotee. And if that someone would start talking, he would just shut his ears and he would say, no, 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 don't tell me this. Ultimately, he's a devotee. Whatever is there, ultimately, he's a devotee. You show me outside how many people are there like him. So here to chalo, there's a great personality, Maharaj Parikshit. But Shamik Rishi is showing that Even if a devotee has made a mistake, I am ready to forgive him, because how many devotees are there? And compared to this problem, the help that this devotee has led in my life in terms of taking my spiritual life forward, this is nothing. I don't know how many of you have experienced, but sometimes in the temple it's fine. But sometimes when you're out, like completely different place, and you're engaged in your worldly things, and suddenly out of the blue you see a devotee, see Kanthi Mala, 3 rounds, you see maybe someone is chanting, sometimes you see a tilak and all. I don't know about you, I feel very, very happy. Like, हाँ ठीक है ठीक है. World is sane. There are devotees are there. But if we are critical, if we are inimical, like Ramchandra Puri, he was Madhavendra Puri, his disciple. So when Madhavendra Puri was about to leave his body, Madhavendra Puri was saying, "Oh, I don't have any taste for the holy names. I don't have any taste for Krishna. I have wasted my life." And this Ramchandra Puri was thinking that, "अरे अरे, तो अच्छे से जप क्यों नहीं किया आपने?" And he was telling him, "You should have done this, no, you should have done that." And Ishwar Puri was also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. He understood this is just the humility of my spiritual master. Any pure devotee will never say, "I'm always remembering Krishna." We say, and that shows that we are very immature. But and because of that offense, eventually Ramachandra Puri fell down completely. So when we are thinking ill like this, or taking ourselves too seriously, then uh, that is Vaishnava Aparadh. So here we can see very easily he forgave Maharaj Parikshit. In fact, he didn't even consider it a mistake. Why? Because he's seeing all the wonderful things that he did. Someone else can read loudly. So he's again glorifying Maharaj Parikshit, saying that these are the things that he's doing. So he is able to see the situation as it is. The modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. A person in the mode of goodness can see things as they are. A person in the mode of passion gets overcome by passion and looks at everything from his or her point of view. And a person in the mode of ignorance just cannot make sense of anything. Here, Shamik Rishi is able to see very clearly. He's giving him the benefit of the doubt. How many of us can give benefit of the doubt to somebody who has caused us trouble? Somebody who has done something wrong to us? How many of us can do that and think, okay, maybe he shouted at me today or she shouted at me today. There must be something behind that. Maybe she was not in a good mood. Maybe he was not in a good mood. Yeah, or ultimately even go back to think, yeah, ultimately it's my karma. It came through this person. That person is the bio medium, giving them benefit of the doubt. This is a sign of a devotee, giving benefit of the doubt when something wrong has happened to us from somebody. So here he is just what, at least I'm talking for myself. Maybe not like all of you, but at least to me. When I am in a situation, I will just start to think, see, he did this, then he did this. इसका मतलब ये भी होगा, इसका मतलब वो भी होगा, and we get into complete negative zone, and we blow up the beyond proportion. Person must have made 10% mistake, and our passionate, ignorant nature will make it 100%. इतना इतना बड़ा गलती कर दिया उसने. It's like the biggest sinful thing ever. Whereas a genuine devotee will make that 10% into try and just chop it off to 1%, 0%. No, 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 no problem. So that we can learn. Now you see that fellow immature way, and you see maturity how it is helping. Maturity of a devotee. Let's see further what Shamik Rishi says. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, we cannot digest that also. मेरी निंदा, लोगों को सच पता होना चाहिए मेरे बारे में, ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया? We are just itching, and someone will tell us, just let it go. Just let it go. With time, just let it go. People will understand with time. And we just, I hope you understand what means. We'll just get on the mess phone, type something, or just go and speak something, or call 10 people. Defamed, cheated, cursed, cursed, disturbed, neglected. You may think maybe defamed is worse. Someone may think neglect कर दिया मुझे. It's as if I don't exist. इतने दिन के बाद मैं Saturday class में आया या आई, and no one even told me Hare Krishna. No one is behind me. Come for the Vrindavan Yatra. What is this? I'm being neglected. Last वाला तो अलग ही है. Or killed. They are never inclined to avenge themselves. Thus the sage regretted the sin committed by his own son. He did not take the insult paid by the king very seriously. The last verse of this chapter is, generally the transcendentalists, even though engaged by others in the dualities of the material world, are not distressed, nor do they take pleasure in worldly things, for they are transcendentally engaged. And therefore you have two transcendentalists mentioned in this chapter. One is Maharaj Parikshit, and the other is Shamik Rishi, the sage, the king and the sage. They both are, one got cursed, 7 days to live, and is very peaceful about it, is seeing the plan of the Lord, is seeing that I'm going to get a chance now to take, no one can stop me now from giving my full time to Lord Krishna through hearing about him. And the other is in the mood of forgiveness, in the mood of giving benefit of the doubt, in the mood of thinking, oh, who am I? I am insignificant. Why should I take what happened to me so seriously? There must have been something because of which he did it. He didn't deserve to do it. And seeing things as they are. So two sets of transcendentalists in different situations react in Krishna conscious ways, and both of them get benefited. Some lessons we can learn from this. One we discuss forgiveness. Yeah, Shamik Rishi, a devotee can forgive. Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, we know his story, how he was troubled from birth by Hiranyakashipu. Any of us have faced such kind of torture? But the Bhagavatam mentions that there were times in which Hiranyakashipu, when he used to see Prahlad, he used to get a tear of affection in his eye. And there were times where Hiranyakashipu would call Prahlad, come, sit on my lap. Then he used to ask, kya sikha, and then he used to throw him away. But he used to call him with affection. And when this whole thing happened, where Narsimhadev ripped Hiranyakashipu apart, at that time Prabhupada writes that Prahlad forgave everything and was just thinking, कभी कभी तो आंखों में आंसू आते थे मुझे देख के, कभी कभी मुझे बोला आके बैठो लैप में. He used to love me sometimes, and for that, Lord, please forgive everything that he did. Narasimhadev forgave Hiranyakashipu because of his relationship with Prahlad. He was not in a mood. Lakshmi ji also saw him and said, "नहीं, मेरा पति नहीं है. I don't know him. He's not the one that I, serve." And so therefore, Narasimhadev was not in a very overly compassionate mood at that time. It said, no, Krishna can be as soft as a rose and as hard as a thunderbolt. As soft as a rose, as hard as a thunderbolt. We want him to be soft towards us, but he can be hard also. So Narsimhadev was not in that soft mood at that time. He was not like Krishna when Putana came trying to kill Krishna, and Krishna was so compassionate. He thought, chalo, the method at least was a motherly method, trying to give me milk, although it was the breast was filled with poison, but still at least motherly method. Usko maa bana diya. Golok Vrindavan mein she became a nurse, motherly figure. Narsimhadev was not in that mood. चल यार छोड़ देते हिरण्यकशिपु को, बेचारे को दे दिया ना, हो गया. But why he forgave? Why? Because anyone in the family of a devotee, benediction 21 generations go, because of his link with Prahlad. And also because Prahlad had that thing. Whatever he did, no problem. Who am I? But at least he used to show affection sometimes. So we can forgive when we can learn to, one, not take ourselves seriously, and two, see some good things in the other person who has done something wrong. Then you can. So while I speak this, I have no realizations of it, but I'm trying to apply. And all we can do is try and apply. Only then we can be able to forgive. We also learn, you read there, he was very realistic about his son. It was not as if, "अरे मेरा बेटा है, maybe भगवान उसको माफ कर देंगे." He understood this fellow is going to get a very bad reaction for this. We read, no? He was saying this, everyone deserves the good and bad that comes to them. It is because of their actions. And so he's thinking, he's like, बेटा तू तो गया अभी, हो गया, तूने बहुत बड़ा कांड किया. Parents cannot digest when they cannot have that viewpoint for their children. They can have it for everyone else. कैसा है, अरे ये देखो कैसा है, अरे ये, or at least even for ourselves. We can have it for everyone else, but for ourselves, our expansions, it's very difficult. Here he is showing a mature devotee will understand, my son did this wrong. He is going to get a reaction for it. Because when you accept that, only then you can think of a correction for it. Okay, अभी इसका उपाय क्या है? Okay, he made a mistake, or even if I apply to myself, okay, I made a mistake. I accept it, I made a mistake. Only if I accept it will I be able to think, okay, now I need to do something to rectify it. If I'm in the illusion, my child can never do anything wrong, or I can never do anything wrong, then where is the question of that? So he accepted, yeah, my son made a mistake, and not just that, मेरा बेटा है ना, भगवान माफ कर देंगे, भगवान आप बहुत दयालु है, दीन बंधु, करुणा सिंधु. No, you did this, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Not just that, he knew that he's offended a devotee. Maharaj Parikshit, he offended him by cursing him. Yeah, it's an offense. And now what is the solution to offending a devotee? Forgiveness from? Can Krishna help in that? If you offend a devotee, can you go to Krishna and say sorry? What is the proof from Bhagavatam for this? Ambrish Maharaj. Shukracharya, he went to Vishnu. What did Vishnu tell him? I have nothing to do with this. Had you offended me, I would have forgiven you. But you offended my devotee. I cannot tolerate that. Solution kya hai? Only if he forgives. Otherwise, you're going to get it. And then what did Ambrish Maharaj do? So here he knows solution क्या है? Devotee को offend किया है. Solution क्या है? Ask for forgiveness from. But yeah, so he knew that uh, the Lord does not forgive a person who has committed offense at the feet of a devotee. The Lord can only direct the person to take shelter of the devotee. But he knew that that solution will also not work. Why? What quality of what about Maharaj Parikshit would not even make this solution work? So why would he not accept forgiveness? Be- you're right on most part because he was humble. He and his saintly nature led him to think, look at this situation as will of the Lord, definitely, and specifically related to him, not karma. Not karma. The karma doesn't work in the life of pure devotees. Maharaj Parikshit के life का एक भी episode was not due to karma. It was purely the will of the Lord. But what is he thinking? I deserve, I deserve. Why can't he forgive? Devotee should forgive. He didn't consider this only an offense. He didn't consider it an offense. He's thinking, क्या हो गया? No big deal. What is there? I'm a fool. Anyway, I'm a lowest of the low. हम jargon use करते हैं ना, प्रभु I'm worm in stool, I'm worm. We use this, I'm the fallen, I'm the most fallen. But inside, what are we thinking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am fallen, पर मेरे से और भी नीचे और भी लोग हैं. और वो सब है मेरे व्हाट्सएप में. मेरे मेरे ग्रुप्स में है अभी. हम लोग ग्रुप में 200 लोग हैं, उसमें से है 180 तो है मेरे नीचे, होंगे 19 लोग मेरे ऊपर. Maharaj Parikshit Singh is cannot forgive him because he never took it as an offense. But problem क्या है? Who took it as an offense? Krishna did. Shamik Rishi knows, no? Krishna took it as a problem. But one solution is go to Maharaj Parikshit and tell him counter curse करो उसको. आप उसको कर्स करो, उसका कर्स आपका कर्स खाता बंद. My son will be saved if you curse him. That's called instant karma. Now Maharaj Parikshit is not governed by karma, but this fellow is. That's why we have to be very careful with devotees. There may be some elevated devotee, but I तो am making karmas, no? So he knew मैं जाके अगर महाराज परीक्षित को बोलूं आप प्लीज उसको कर्स कर दो मेरा बेटा बच जाएगा, एटलीस्ट उसको इंस्टेंट कर्मा मिल जाएगा खत्म. नहीं, वो तो he's not going to take it as a curse only. And even if I tell please forgive him, he's going to say forgive what? वो करेगा ही नहीं. So he knows the quality of a devotee, and therefore he is thinking that when there is no option left for my problem, then there's only one option: take shelter of Krishna. And therefore he's praying to Krishna that you please do whatever you think is best for my son. Whatever you think is best for my son, you please do that. I cannot pray to you to remove the sin because you will not do that. Oh, he's offended a devotee. And that devotee is so humble that he's not even considering it an offense. But you are considering, so you do what you can. Now, in this situation, you please take care of the situation. Like coming back to that point when we were discussing immaturity of a devotee, I may think, Lord, I want a solution, and my solution is this, and it should be done in this way. Versus thinking, okay, Krishna, this is a difficulty in my life. Now you do whatever is best. Just give me tolerance and maturity to continue my spiritual life. That should not get hampered by my health problem, by my mental problem, by my financial problem, by my ego problem. This should not go away. Baki solution, how you want, when you want. We may think, I'm praying, it's not happening. So here he is, Krishna, my son has done this. Now, if you wish to forgive, you forgive. If you don't wish to do, but please give him your shelter. So when nothing is left, then pray to Krishna. Prabhupada writes, he therefore directly prayed for pardon from the Supreme Lord, who alone can undo a thing which is impossible to change. Everything else is governed by the laws, but the lawmaker Krishna can do it. Now in this case, probably वो pardon भी नहीं करेंगे because he's offended devotee. But what's the last thing he can do? Just pray to Krishna. Please give him your shelter. You give him your shelter, and that's it. So this is the reaction of Shamik Rishi to this problem. To knowing that my son is going to get a very, very bad reaction to this. Accepting that, knowing it, and then how he reacted. He's not crying, मैं इतना ऋषि हूँ, इतना तपस्या करता हूँ, भगवान बचा लो मेरे बेटे को, ये वो. He's just praying, Lord, he's made this mistake. Now you do what, you see what best can be done in this. I accept whatever you will do. Knowing also that Krishna is the maintainer. So these are the lessons we can get from Shamik Rishi. Forgiving, seeing things as they were, identifying the problem, knowing the solution, and knowing that there is no solution in this, and therefore taking shelter of the Lord. So when all our material solutions fail, then there's only one option left. So either wo, lato ke bhoot, or like a proper devotee from the beginning also having this. I'm trying a material solutions, but Krishna, ultimately you know what is best. You give me shelter. You give me shelter. You don't take away my spiritual life. Don't take away my association of devotees. For a devotee, these are problems. Birth, old age, disease, that is everyone's problem. For karmis, what are other problems? Money, fame, name, property, prestige, this, that. For a devotee, what are, apart from birth, old age, disease, that, what are the problems? Association of devotee nahi jana chahiye. My sadhana should go on. My service, most important. I should be engaged in some service, practical service I should be doing. And whatever you do, Krishna, just please don't take away these things. Give me maturity to ensure this doesn't happen. Give me tolerance so that I don't mess up with devotees in such a bad way that they neglect me. You please help me with these things. So this we can learn from Shami Rishi. And from Maharaj Parikshit we can learn accepting the will of the Lord, seeing the hand of the Lord, and taking shelter of Krishna consciousness in the situation, in the bad situation. So he took shelter of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Any questions? 8 o'clock. Yes, Prabhu. So therefore there is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. The triangle. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So everything in our life, if it is governed by these three things, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. What the spiritual master is saying, what the devotees are saying, and what is there in Shastra. And then we will know whether it is my mental speculation or it is genuinely desire of the Lord. On our own, how we will come to know? If mental speculation है तो उसमें तो mental speculation ही होगा. So whether this is right, what I am thinking or how I am handling the situation, or whether it is my mental speculation, we can find out by taking shelter of Shastra, by verifying it with the spiritual master, in most cases there is access to spiritual master is not there in that sense, but then with the devotees, getting it verified, checked with the devotees, and then having the mood of accepting if they say no, 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 you're not taking it in the right way, then taking that's not so easy. When I have contemplated and I have thought that this is the solution, this is how I want to do, and the devotees say that no, actually that's not the Krishna conscious approach, and then to accept it and then to make those changes, then that's how a genuine devotee takes things. So having that, therefore, out of all the processes of devotional service, this association of devotees is the main thing. And that's why I was saying that a devotee will consider a problem when association is not happening. Krishna, don't put me in this situation. My God, my work has increased so much, or my troubles are so much that I can't even go to the temple. I don't have time to talk to devotees. Don't put me in that kind of situation. And even if you have put me in that kind of situation, still give me intelligence that I can somehow be connected to devotees. Any other question on what we discussed today? When we hurt any devotee and we go to take pardon from the devotee, if he is not willing to pardon it, then we follow Krishna. If he is not willing to pardon because he felt really offended, uh, then we should try harder to beg forgiveness. But ultimately, this is the option. If there is option left, then yeah, but Shamik Rishi could understand there's no option left because of the qualities of Maharaj Parikshit. We should not misuse this to think हाँ एक बार sorry बोल दिया उसने हाँ नहीं बोला ना कुछ भाव नहीं दिया हो गया मेरा काम. We have to take the humbler position that okay yeah ठीक है Krishna is wanting me to try harder, and by trying harder what will happen? You have to lower your lower what? Your ego. Your ego. So it's breaking your ego. So that's beneficial for us. But in general, devotees are merciful and they easily forgive. Yeah. Usually. He's saying usually. Online question. Can sadhana alone help us cultivate this forgiving attitude or we need anything else? Very nice question. So, we may think that all these qualities that are there, they will automatically come because there are verses in the Bhagavatam which say that all good qualities are there in the devotee. Just by taking the process of devotional service, all good qualities come. And that's absolutely true. That just by following the Navaveda Bhakti, the 9 processes of devotional service, all good qualities will come. Good qualities में ये सब quality भी है. Tolerance, humility, forgiveness, this. But at the same time, we have to make an endeavor. If I think, मैं जप कर रहा हूँ, मैं रोज भागवतम पढ़ रहा हूँ, मैं गीता पढ़ रहा हूँ, मैं सेवा कर रहा हूँ, ह्यूमिलिटी जब आएगा तब आएगा. मन नहीं कर रहा है दंडवत करने का, जप चालू है, एक दिन मन करेगा तो मैं करूंगा. Like one person, a new person, Prabhupada was there sitting, everyone bowed down. He said, Prabhu, Swamiji, if we don't feel like bowing down, what to do? Prabhupada, still do. Still do. Still do, so then it will come that yeah, I should do. So we have to also make an effort to cultivate humility. We have to make an effort to think, okay, why am I taking myself so seriously? Forget this. No problem. No problem. It's okay. No big deal. So we have to do that also. Karmis try to just do that. Your self-help books tell you just to do that. Forgive, forgive, forgive. कैसे? Humility का तो इतना बोलते नहीं है, पर forgiveness is a big thing, no? Be grateful, forgive, tolerate. So you can't just do that and just waiting for sadhana to one day act and boom. From today I'm humble. One Mataji called me today. She is getting initiated. She used to stay in Bangalore, so she needed a letter from us that she attends this program. She needed a letter that no objection. She's fit to be initiated. So then I told her, no problem, I will give you. Then just when she was saying, please pray, मेरा हो जाए दीक्षा मंडे को, कुछ कंफर्म नहीं है, महाराज देंगे नहीं देंगे क्या. So I said, मैं प्रे करूंगा, but don't think कि मंडे को कुछ लाइट बल्ब उड़ जाएगा, कुछ चमत्कार हो जाएगा, सडनली जप में मन लगेगा, सडनली वो सब वैष्णव क्वालिटीज आ जाएंगे जो भागवतम में दिखते हैं. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला, इनफैक्ट होगा ही नहीं. I remember the day I got initiated, the next day morning, I couldn't even get up at 4 o'clock. I got up at 6 o'clock with a heavy headache. And I have chanted pathetic rounds on the first day of, being a quote unquote initiated devotee. So we can't just wait. एक दिन जो भी भागवतम में है सब आएगा. I have to try. So I have to, whenever I see devotees bow down, like we tell all the children, our children, we tell, Danvat karo. Maybe we should tell ourselves also, Danvat kar. Why do we tell them that? To create that impression in their mind that I have to bow down to the devotees. Means, what does that mean? I am subservient to them. They have right over me. I will follow what they say. That's what it means. So we tell them again and again. Like I remember my son, it took a year, 2 years almost of daily saying, Hare Krishna bolo, Hare Krishna bolo, Hare Krishna. अच्छे से बोलो, प्रभु जी बोलो, Hare Krishna प्रभु जी बोलो, Hare Krishna. But eventually hota hai. So now it may be that it's coming from within. See, you pay obeisances. How are we different? They may be physically children. We should consider ourselves spiritually children. What is 10 years in Krishna consciousness compared to millions of lifetimes of not being in Krishna consciousness? Think. So we have to cultivate also and have firm faith that strong sadhana will help. Strong sadhana will do its part. I have to do my part. And then, like Vaisheshika Prabhu says, dal is nutritious, rice is nutritious. But when you combine them, there is 40% more nutrition. That's why we eat dal rice. So we have to cultivate, and devotional service will do its part. And when the two of them are together, that's when a devotee progresses so fast. Thank you, Mahapati Prabhu. Another question is something people online seem to be more attentive, and they don't even get prasad for it. Only those who ask questions today will get prasad. So, Vikas Prabhu, only he asked. Prabhu. Another question is something we do wrong but think devotees have not noticed. Should we still beg for forgiveness? If we are genuine, if we want to, we will think that notice नहीं किया, notice बता दूंगा, तो ठीक है मन में forgiveness मांगता हूँ and भगवान को जाके forgiveness मांगता हूँ क्योंकि बोल दूंगा तो मुझे वैसे देखने लगेंगे ये लोग, फिर next time नहीं भी करूंगा तो वो लोग सोचेंगे नहीं नहीं ये तो ऐसा ही है. It depends. If it is, it may not necessarily be to that devotee, but maybe to another devotee who is senior to us. We can go and say, I made this mistake. That person doesn't know. You tell me what to do. And then case by case basis, the guidance can be there. Because it may be something very stupid. Like I see you for the first time, and I think, "Kaun hai ye?" And then after some time, I realize that, "Kaun hai ye?" I may not necessarily go and tell you, I used to think that you're a fool. But that was quick. So, but I can tell somebody else. That see, this is how I was. I used to think like this about this person. Yeah. There's one more question. How to forgive and forget people like Menka Gandhi? So in that case, then the 37th verse of the third chapter applies, where Prabhupada says that when a devotee is being blasphemed, or when the Lord is being blasphemed, at that time anger has to be used in Krishna's service, like Hanumanji did. Hanumanji did not forgive Ravan. He burnt Lanka. He tried to convince Ravan. He tried his best to convince Ravan. He even showed him a trailer. मैं ये कर सकता हूँ और मैं तो दास हूँ. Imagine what Ram will do. He tried again. छोड़ दो. But then none of those things worked. And then it was full on, war. So when it comes to devotees being blasphemed, the Lord being blasphemed, the temples being blasphemed, at that time, then, so like what is happening now? Giving statements, telling the person retract your statements, telling the person issue an apology, do all that. And if none of that works, then you have to go full on with whatever remedies are available to uh, straighten out the person. So the principle is, for me, I will forgive. But if it is for some other devotee, then it is, you take action. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah. So when it comes to business and when it comes to all that, there are two things. One is uh, your profession may involve certain shrewdness to be there. Every businessman, every supplier, every dealer, every shopkeeper will say, "I'm giving you the best price," and they all know, and even you know that they are just saying it, right? So there, all these things are there, but then there are many other things which can be avoided, which also people do. Blatantly cheating, uh, blatantly, trying to get someone down. So those things can be avoided, and you can still, at the end of the day, understand that even if I take this approach or I take that approach, I am going to get whatever I deserve. Not one paisa more, not one paisa less. My humility is not going to reduce one paisa from what I'm about to earn, and my gung ho approach is not going to earn one more paisa than what I'm going to get. So then the question is that how long can I have dual personalities? So how long can I have dual personalities? But then within that, for my business, like if I have employees or if I have people under me, I cannot tell them, "हाँ ठीक है कोई बात नहीं." I have to act like that. As long as I don't cheat them, as long as I don't insult them, as long as I don't do anything sinful, and as long as all these things are not going to be detrimental to my devotional mood, that's fine. I have to be practical. As soon as they infringe this, then I have to see the larger picture. That help? People want prasad. You have to ask a question. Yes, Pranjal. So it is safer to commit an offense to the Lord than it is to commit an offense to a devotee, because you cannot anjane mein commit an offense to a devotee. The 10 offenses to the holy name. One of them was to blaspheme a devotee. Right? So that's the biggest offense, to blaspheme a devotee. And that is not unknowingly. For every other offense, there is a solution. You go and beg, like people who do DT worship, they have to end DT worship by offering obeisances to the Lord and begging forgiveness that knowingly or unknowingly I must have made a mistake in today's worship. Please forgive me. In such cases, offenses in unknowing offenses in devotional service, then the holy name acts You can your offense can get negated by the holy name. Not that I this is all unknowingly, because of question was unknowingly. Knowingly doing and chanting holy name is again an offense to the holy name, but unknowingly doing. And also, what helps the most in this is when we have some level of accountability in our service. So that means when someone knows exactly how I'm doing my service, what I'm doing, and how I'm doing my service. And then they will be able to understand, okay, this is going wrong or this is going right. And then the question of unknowingly doing things reduces. But when it's just me and the books or me and the service, then the opportunity of this can arise. It makes sense? If there's something specific, we can discuss later. Okay? Prabhupada writes in the last purport regarding these two great personalities. Prabhupada writes, all these transcendentalists are beyond the three modes of material nature. Material distresses and happiness are products of the three modes, and therefore the causes of such material distress and happiness have nothing to do with the transcendentalists. The king was a devotee, the rishi was a mystic. Therefore, both of them were unattached to the accidental incident created by the will of the Lord. Prabhupada concludes this whole chapter summary by writing, the whole incident is now cleared up. Maharaj Parikshit's garlanding the sage with a dead snake was not at all a very serious offense, but Shringi's cursing the king was a serious offense. The serious offense was committed by a foolish child only. Therefore, he deserved to be pardoned by the Supreme Lord, although it was not possible to get free from the sinful reaction. Maharaj Parikshit also did not mind the curse offered to him by a foolish Brahmana. On the contrary, he took full advantage of the awkward situation, and by the great will of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit achieved the highest perfection of life through the grace of Srila Shukadev Goswami. Actually, it was the desire of the Lord, and Maharaj Parikshit, Rishi Shamik, and his son Shringi were all instruments in fulfilling the desire of the Lord. So none of them were put into difficulty because everything was done in relation with the Supreme Person. Prabhupada ki. We have our Vrindavan Yatra coming up from 3rd November to 10th November. How many of you are coming? Okay. Those who are not coming, you still have a chance to come. Try and come for a few days. Those who are online, please try and come for a few days if you're not coming, because one of the 5 main processes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives for devotional service, one of them is Mathura Vas, means residing in the Holy Dham. Now, we can't always reside in the Holy Dham, but at least few days in a year we can, and we must. So, please do come. And then in December, we were planning our trip to Udupi, but it's not happening because everything is booked. The trains are full, places are there are full, so we can't go. But what happened, Mahapati Prabhu, is this seems to be an arrangement of Krishna, because the dates we were looking at, 22, 23, 24, 25. So then we had one meeting with Vaisheshika Prabhu 10 days ago. And at the end of the call, I just told him, Prabhuji, it's been a long time you have not come. So please do consider visiting us sometime in your next India trip. He always comes in Kartik. He said, this time is not possible. I have made plans. 2 days later, his wife messaged me. So, you asked Prabhu to come and all. So is the 22nd December to 25th December, are you available? We'll come to Mumbai. So I was just thinking, my God, agar wo Udupi ka ho jata, and then what would I tell her? That, no, we are going to Udupi. It's like, Prabhupada, in Bhakti Siddhanta's Yatra, they made an announcement. This evening, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is going to give class. And also, we are going to go and see Sheshashai Vishnu temple. Jinko jahan jana hai, wo jaye. And 99% crowd went to Sheshashai Vishnu temple. 5 people stayed back to hear Bhakti Siddhanta. Prabhupada was later asked, how come you stayed back? He said, Vishnu कहाँ जाने वाले थे? उधर ही है, वो रहेंगे बाद में भी. But hearing from Bhakti Siddhanta is not going to always be there. So we have the very good fortune of getting 3 days association with Vaisheshika Prabhu. Those who don't know, from the Haribols of those who know, you can understand that it's something very nice. And so please don't plan any Christmas trips anywhere. And so that is something to look forward to in December. The Vrindavan Yatra is something to look forward to in November. And there's always something to look forward to in spiritual life. We should take advantage of all these opportunities, and our our ship keeps getting pushed, keeps getting pushed, keeps getting pushed. So we do our part, our sadhana, we ensure we do services, and then we keep taking advantages of these pushes. So whatever lie you have to do in office, whatever financial arrangement you have to do to be able to pay for the yatra, you do it and take advantage and come and take association of these devotees. Right. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki. Okay, today's prasadam is very kindly sponsored by Ashwini Prabhu. He's not there. Mataji is there.